Hey, it's Guy Raz here, host of How I Built This, with a quick recommendation. Every holiday weekend comes with a lot of waiting, traffic, airport security lines. And so while you're waiting, why don't you just binge on How I Built This? Each episode, I speak with a founder of a company who has an incredible story of how it all began. You can find How I Built This on the NPR One app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello and welcome to Car Talk from National Public Radio with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert Brothers, and we're broadcasting this week from the Center for Technical Education here at Car Talk Plaza. Now, you may have missed this, but California held an Automotive Career Education Day recently. I guess the good people in California determined that there's a nationwide shortage of automotive repair technicians.
And there is.
So this Automotive Career Education Day was set up to encourage kids to go into the automotive repair field. And they did a pretty good job. But we have a couple of suggestions for more effective ways to lure kids into the profession next year.
Yeah, I mean,
for
one thing, I mean, they didn't combine their little Automotive Career Education Day with the boat show.
Oh,
I mean, that was
gross oversight.
That was a fatal error.
And secondly, show them how simple it is to be a mechanic. For instance, here are a few simple multiple-choice questions that illustrate how intuitive it is. Question number 1. A customer comes in complaining of an engine noise when the car is cold. Do you A, ask for more details and collect as much information about the noise as you can?
Mm-hmm.
B, ask the customer to take a test drive with you so you can make sure you hear the noise? Or C, nod your head as the customer talks and you draw pictures of Xena Warrior Princess on your clipboard?
C. I go for C. So how am I doing?
Great. Question 2.
Yeah, lay it on me.
You get unexpectedly busy at the shop that day, and by 3 o'clock you haven't even touched the customer's car. Do you A, call the customer, apologize, and ask if you can possibly keep it another day?
Come on.
B, call the customer, apologize, and offer to make another appointment at his earliest convenience? Or C, wait until the customer comes to get the car and write on the repair order, couldn't get it to make the noise?
C again. I go for that one. How am I doing? Batting 1,000?
You're doing great. Question 3. In an attempt to eliminate the noise, you change the belt. The customer pays the bill and comes back a few days later and says that he still hears the noise. Do you A, apologize and say you'll take another look at it right away?
Never.
B, explain that the belt was glazed and needed to be changed anyway, but obviously that didn't fix it, so you'll look at it again right away.
Who writes these stupid answers?
C, pretend you don't recognize the customer and ask if he's sure it was this garage that changed the belt 2 days ago, because a lot of garages, look the same.
Are you sure you were here?
Now, if you know what to do in each of these cases, and we have many more, if you need more help with this, we'll be glad to send you the brochure. But if you knew what to do in each of these cases, you, my child, can succeed in the automotive repair industry.
That's going to get a lot of people. Sure, I mean, it's so simple. It's obvious. And this is all it does take. So I don't know why people are shying away from this career path.
Well, I think it has more to do with people getting away from boats, actually.
That could be. Well, we're having global drying. Yeah, lakes are drying up all over the planet.
Yeah, so what the hell good is a boat?
Remember Lake Erie? When you were a kid, there were 5. Remember there were 5 Great Lakes? There's no Lake Erie anymore. Dried up.
Gone, huh?
It's gone.
Boy, it's just
global
goes
drying.
to show you what happens when you ain't paying attention.
Paying attention to science. We should do a little science thing every week. Our interpretation of science.
Yeah,
that would be
it certainly would. Look, if you want to talk to us about your car or about global drying or any of these natural phenomena, the number to call is 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, guys. This is Faith from Anchorage, Alaska.
Hi, Faith from Anchorage. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good, but my car has seen some better days, I guess.
Really?
Yeah, it's a 90 Subaru Loyale station wagon, and I just drove it here from Maine just a couple of months ago. So she's been real good to me. You know, I just put 12,000 miles on it in a month and a half, all by my lonesome.
Did you drive on that Calcan highway there?
I sampled a little bit of that, but I kind of made up my own route.
You drove from where in Maine?
Bangor, Maine.
To Anchorage?
Yep.
And it took you how long?
It took me about a month and a half.
I mean, if you wanted to just freeze your butt off, there are plenty of places in Canada to which you could have driven.
There are plenty of places in Maine. Bangor, for one.
So what happened? Maine was just too crowded and hectic for you, huh?
Yeah, that's right. You know,
Thought so.
fast pace of life.
Oh, man.
So here's what my car is up to.
Go ahead.
It's making a weird noise. When I make a right-hand turn, particularly kind of a speedy right-hand turn.
Yeah, you get this.
Oh, my gosh, that's it right there. It sounds
Yeah.
like there's a little goblin under my car knocking, trying to get in.
Yeah. Are you
Faith, haven't you been listening to the show? I mean, we have one of these calls a week.
Oh, no.
Well, at least we give out this answer once a week,
Right.
whether people have the symptom or not.
Is this good or bad?
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
not terribly bad. I mean, it's better than a sharp stick in the eye, as they say.
Okay, good.
You need a left front axle.
An axle?
Yeah,
That
the axle.
sounds expensive, doesn't
It
it?
sure does.
Well, actually, if you still have any kin in Maine, they can ship you one.
Kin who still speak to her. That's
Oh.
sort of presumed.
Yeah. All right, give us your address. We'll send
She
you
didn't. She didn't say why she left Maine. Really, it could be to get away from people.
Well, if you have anyone stateside, I mean, down here in the lower 48,
Yeah.
they can mail you an axle. And the good thing is there's almost no chance of them sending you the wrong one because I think all of these Subarus
Oh, great.
for many years use the same axle.
But what, you think that Anchorage is such a godforsaken place that there aren't any spare parts?
Actually, they've got a whole ton of old Subarus up here. It's like the
Of course.
state car. Everybody's
Of course.
got a Subaru.
Everyone's
Oh,
got a
maybe.
Subaru. It's all-wheel drive.
Well, no, except mine. I've
Yours
got, like,
is just
the
front
only
wheel.
front-wheel drive Subaru in the whole state.
Yeah.
Oh, you fool!
I
You'll-
know.
Well, just leave it somewhere in a parking lot and take somebody else's.
Seriously, why did you move there?
I came here for the winter. I mean, I love winter. I loved growing up in Maine and having all that snow. And,
What a
and
nutcase.
then we got
I hear that the government's looking for people to spend 4 years in Antarctica.
Hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah. Well, there is a certain mystique about 10 feet of snow.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what it is, actually.
Do you have friends there, Faith?
I had one friend here when I moved up, but she didn't even know I was coming.
She's
So it was
like
just sort of a wing and a prayer type thing.
But you don't care because the snow will be your friend.
Exactly.
Well,
No.
as my wife's grandfather would have said, you must be quite a vimins.
That's right.
Good for you, kid.
Well, have someone put an axle in,
How
and,
much is
and
that going to cost me?
I don't know. In Anchorage, it could cost you anything.
Yeah, anything could cost anything up here.
Yeah, but it shouldn't cost you more than a few $100.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, you should fix it because it'll break, and when it breaks, then you'll be really stuck in the 40 feet of snow.
Oh, yeah.
That's no good.
All right.
Good
Well,
luck,
thanks
kids.
a lot, guys.
See ya. Have fun. Hey, send us a postcard.
Hey, no problem.
All righty. See you, Faith.
Bye-bye.
All right.
That takes some kind of courage. How many people out of the 7 billion that are on the planet would take a 6-week, month and a half to end up where? Nowhere.
Mostly driving in places where there's no one else.
Man, she's an interesting vimins, this Faith.
She sure is. 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, guys. This is Sam Pashada from Pueblo, Colorado.
Pueblo! The government printing office. The storefront.
That's the only place people know us about.
That's right. What's up, Sam?
I have a 1986 Nissan Stanza Wagon 4x4.
Jeez, that's a
What?
rare vehicle.
Wow.
This car has went back and forth between a good friend of mine and myself. Each time we have a kid that turns 16, we give it to the other one. Okay?
Oh. I thought you were just selling it back and forth to each other because you had such bad memories.
And the price keeps going down. All right, 75 cents, that's my best offer.
I mean, and did you say, Jesus, car looks familiar, Sam? But I'll buy it anyway.
Well, this is the second time I've had this car back.
Yeah.
It, about every 5,000 to 6,000 miles, it starts running real rough. Just all of a sudden, it'll run real rough.
Yeah.
And then quit. No fire, no nothing. Replacing the rotor and the cap, it'll run like a clock.
For 5,000 or 6,000 miles.
Then it'll do it again.
Oh.
You can use the same plugs, same wires. As long as you replace the cap and the rotor, it'll run like a clock.
You've done this experiment. You've changed nothing except the cap and the rotor.
Right. Now, this has happened to both my friend and myself. He had a mechanic do it. I did the work myself.
Yeah, that's a pain in the neck to change that cap, isn't it?
It's also an expense because that cap runs around $80.
Yeah, well, they're no fools. They know what's keeping the car running. They'll charge you $180 if they want. This car has 2 ignition coils.
Yes.
And it has along the top of the cap where one of the coil wires connects, there's a long conduit that takes the electricity from that coil wire to that contact point inside the cap. And I bet that's breaking down.
Okay.
Are you buying the caps from Nissan?
No, just, regular parts
Jeez,
stores.
I think I'd have to recommend you buy your next one from the dealer.
Okay.
I think you're going to find out, number one, that it's cheaper, and number two, it'll last longer. But I think that's what's happening. That conduit for the second coil, the one that has to travel the farthest or farther, is breaking down, and that's why the thing starts to run raggy.
Okay.
Don't forget that pretty soon there's going to be a price turnaround on these distributor caps.
Right.
You realize that?
Well, it's almost worth more than the car now.
Well, no, but as soon as the manufacturer of the cap realizes that they've made too many, you're going to be able to get these things for $50 a piece.
Yeah, you buy them by the case.
Give them your phone number, Sam. They'll call you when the price starts to go down. Good luck, man.
Thanks, guys.
All right, bye-bye.
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 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255.
How did you remember that?
You remember what?
86. You remember what the cap for an 86 Stanza looks like?
Huh?
How'd you do
You
that?
talking to me? Who are you?
I got it. Okay.
1-8...
Selective memory.
Guesswork. 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hey, this is Lydia Wiggins in Foley, Alabama.
Hi, Lydia.
Where are you from, Lydia?
Foley, Alabama.
Foley, Alabama.
Yeah, it's the southernmost part of Alabama.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Cool.
How southern would that be? Like in the Gulf of Mexico?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm about 10 minutes away from the beach.
Isn't that
I'm at
sweet?
school right now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, Foley High School.
Foley High School. Foley.
So you're
FHS.
So you're cutting class.
No, sir. I'm advertising editor of our school newspaper.
Ah, yes, I said you're cutting class. Yeah.
No. I mean,
Why do you keep calling us sir?
It's a habit. I'm sorry.
It's one of those southern things.
It is.
Yes, sir.
Wow, you're so well mannered. It's so
Yeah. Well,
wonderful.
let's see if she's still well mannered by the time we finish talking to her. So go ahead, Lydia.
All right. I have a '93 Dodge Dynasty.
Did one of your grandparents leave this to you in a will?
Well, no, it's my dad's, actually.
Your dad?
And he lets me drive it because he says I'm too young to have my own vehicle, which he's probably right because he usually is, but
How young are
not
you?
agreeing with him.
How young are you, Lydia?
I'm 16.
16.
Got it. Okay, just checking.
Well, your father is still right. You are still too young to have your own car.
Yes, sir. He usually is right.
Stop
It's like-
calling me sir!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay, but about the car. I was at a red light one day, and I was playing with my keychain, and the key fell out of the ignition.
But the car kept running.
Yes, sir. And, I mean, when it's in drive and I'm driving down the road, I can pull the key out of the ignition. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do it on a regular basis.
But you can.
Yes, sir. I don't
Yeah.
think I'm supposed to.
Well, you're not supposed to, except the key is so worn out.
Oh, no, it's not an old key.
It's not an old key.
Mm-mm.
It's your very own copy, Lydia.
Yes,
that
sir.
was made at the hardware store from a very old original key. So you see, it's a combination of the key being worn out and the lock. What that key goes into is a lock, and then that lock is in turn connected to the ignition switch. But it's perfectly okay to have the thing fall out.
It's kind of nice because then you can leave the engine running if in case you have to run into the house for something and the house is locked. Ordinarily, you'd have to shut the engine off and then run into the house, unlock the door because your house key is probably on the same keychain. And this way you can just leave the engine running in case, for example, someone wants to come and steal the car. It'll be already running for them.
Right.
They won't even need a key at all. And it's possible that you may not even need a key to start the car. Have you tried that?
Yes, sir.
Have you tried it with a screwdriver?
You do
not
need
with
the
a
key to
screwdriver.
You do need the key to start it, right?
Yes, sir.
And nobody else's key, your father's key, for example, does not come out.
Well, no, sir, I don't think it does. I haven't tried it.
Well, you don't let him really drive the car anymore, do you?
No,
Lydia?
it's not his
He
car.
has. Like, I had to get new brake pads.
So, oh yeah.
Oh,
my,
yeah.
my sons do that to me. If there's something wrong with one of my vehicles,
Especially something that will cost money to repair.
they say, Dad, why don't you drive it into work today and see if it's making any funny noises, and if it is, fix them.
Well, I do have a car. It just doesn't run, and it's starting to sink into the ground.
Yeah, I have one of them.
I have it's a 77 Lincoln,
Ooh.
and I'm scared of it.
How much you want for it?
My dad bought it for $1, and it ran for 2 years.
I'll give him 100% return on his investment.
A 77 Lincoln, huh?
Yes, sir.
It's a little big, isn't it?
Yes, sir. It is. It's very, very big. It scares me. It's so big.
Yeah, no, you need it.
The Dynasty's good for you.
You need at least a year behind the wheel of this Dynasty
Yes.
to get your feet wet, and then you can. If the Lincoln hasn't sunk down to the windows yet, you can have it fixed up and drive it.
We're slowly rebuilding it.
Well, don't worry about the key because it has nothing to do with anything. And if it troubles you, have another key made.
Yes, sir.
Lydia, it's been a pleasure talking to you. You're such a well-mannered person.
Well, thank you.
Us Northerners, we're just such bores and yahoos compared to you Southerners.
Yes, we are.
We are. We're just a bunch of
Well, we don't have
ill-mannered jerks.
the right upbringing.
We don't. We don't.
In fact, I'm going to insist that my brother call me sir from now on. Thank you, Lydia.
Oh, kiss my butt. Thank you, Lydia. It's been a
Thank
pleasure
you.
talking to you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, it's time for me to ask you if you remember last week's puzzler, Tommy.
Yeah, well, that must mean it's time for me to say, no, what's it to you, pal?
Okay, doke. Why don't I just go ahead and remind you what the puzzle was about? How
What
does
a
that sound?
great idea.
Well, here we go. The puzzler was about a guy who bought a new car and had to figure out how to get it home.
Ah, happens to me all the time. I always have to get someone to tow my new cars home.
No, this wasn't one of your heat. This was a legit new car, a brand new one that actually started and
A
ran.
brand new car.
Yeah, and I'll have the whole story along with more of your calls in just a minute, so please stay tuned.
And even though hyenas complain we give laughing a bad name whenever they hear us say it, this is NPR.
We'd like to say a quick thank you to one of our sponsors who brings you the following message. Better World Club, the nation's only eco-friendly auto club. Now, I know one of these days you're going to break down. How do I know that? Well, it's easy. You're taking car advice from Car Talk. So before that happens, there's roadside assistance from Better World Club. Car Talk fans can save 20% by going to betterworldcartalk.com and using the top secret code that we've printed there for everyone to see. Hi, we're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappert brothers, and we're here to talk about cars, car repair, and, of course, the answer to last week's puzzler. And this came in from someone named John Kelly. True story, he writes. While living in the Bronx, a friend who shall remain nameless, i.e. John Kelly probably, bought a brand new car from a dealership in White Plains, a suburb about 21 miles north of where he lived. He didn't have anyone to help him pick up the new car, so he decided to do it all by himself. Because he wasn't trading in the old car, he came up with this ingenious plan. I use the word ingenious liberally. He drove his old car 21 miles north and parked it in the dealer's lot, paid for the new car, and got the keys. He then drove the new car 1 mile south, got out, locked it up, walked back north 1 mile to the dealership, picked up his old car, and drove it 2 miles south. You with me?
Yeah, I'm with you.
He locked up the old car, walked back north 1 mile, unlocked his new car, drove it 2 miles south, etc., leapfrogging the two cars until he reached home with both of them. Pretty good, eh?
Yeah.
Well, the question is this. At the end of his very, very, very long day, how many total miles did he travel between walking and driving?
400 miles each way.
Well, he clearly walked 21 miles, right? It
Yeah.
would be the equivalent if he had driven up there with his old car
And just walked back.
and just driven the new car home and then walked back up there. He just did it in 1 mile increments,
Yeah.
right? He walked 21 miles. So he drove the new car back 21 miles.
Yeah.
He drove the old car back 21 miles, right?
Yeah.
So most people say that's 63 total miles. Wrong
Yeah.
answer. Everyone forgets the 21 miles he drove to get up there.
Ah.
So he drove 21 miles to get to the dealership.
All right.
And then drove 2 cars back 21 miles each,
42.
which is another 42
and
miles,
21.
which makes 63, and then 21 that he walked, 84 miles. No wonder it took him all day. Was he crazy? So who's our winner?
The winner is Pete Carl Talk. Carl Talk. That's the show that comes on after us, starring Carl Castle, I think.
I would think it would be appropriate.
And for having his answer selected at random from among all the correct answers that we got, Pete is going to get a $26 gift certificate, which is $25 plus cost of living increase, to the Shameless Commerce Division, which is cartalk.com. And with that gift certificate, he can do some early Christmas shopping, maybe even pick up a copy of our CD called Born Not to Run. More disrespectful car songs. This is an excellent Christmas gift, for example, for an in-law, someone you don't really like but have to get a present for.
I guess that's our marketing niche, huh?
That's it.
And anyway, we'll have a new...
Automotive? Non-automotive?
no.
Quasi-automotive?
No,
None of the above.
I'll go for quasi.
Quasi. You can always make it quasi.
We'll have a new quasi-automotive puzzler coming up in the third half of today's show, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, you can call us and ask us questions about the car of your choice. Our number is 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hi, this is Susan from Conway, Arkansas.
Hi, Susan from Conway, Arkansas.
Conway, Arkansas.
It's just north of Little Rock.
Yeah, you sound very chipper today.
Well, I have a problem with my car that my boyfriend thinks I'm imagining, and I'd like you to tell him that he's wrong, and then I'd like you to tell me if I should worry about this or not.
Do we have your check yet?
Go ahead.
Well, I have a 1997 Saturn SL1, and I was driving up to see some friends this past weekend, and I drove all the way there. It's about a 2-hour drive. And when I got there, I pulled off the highway, and I made it through the first stop sign fine. And I got to the next one, and I shifted it into first. And when I went to shift it into second, the stick shift felt like I was shifting it through cream of wheat. It was a lot. I got more resistance.
Okay.
This may still be happening, or my arm may have gotten used to it. But it definitely did this for a couple days up until yesterday afternoon.
Only going from first to second or going through all the gears?
Through all the gears and even in neutral.
Well, so what's the boyfriend's position here?
He says that there's nothing wrong, that I'm just imagining the whole thing, and that it's always been this hard to shift.
So let me get this right. Something may have happened, and it may not be happening now, but you're not sure. And you don't know what it is anyway. Yeah, sure. We're going to be on your side with this one.
And you're hoping that we can tell you what it is or it isn't.
I want to know whether or not I should worry about this.
Wait, you said now even in neutral, which means like when you're moving the shift lever left to right instead of up and down, like to go into the gears, it feels like there's resistance that wasn't there before.
Yeah, it's not as smooth.
How long a trip was this trip that you took?
2 hours.
I'm just testing the witness. I want to see if she's changing her story.
It was 2 hours.
It's 2 hours, but since that time, you haven't driven another trip of 2 hours.
Well, but aside from driving back, no.
I would say that it's mandatory that you take another 2-hour trip.
Okay.
Yeah. What this means is that we have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, no, I know exactly what's going on.
You do?
Not really, no. I think what's happened here.
Yes.
Is
my brother has that look that this is going to be complete bull feathers.
I think that when she drives a thing at sustained high speed, one of several things is happening. Either the transmission is overheating because it's low on fluid and hence making it difficult to shift.
We checked the transmission fluid.
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah, we did. And it's fine.
All right.
Okay, so there goes theory with number one.
Oh, shucks.
I know you have a backup.
Of course. I think the shift linkage is getting overheated due to the absence of the catalytic converter heat shield, which fell off at about 35,000 miles. Well, it was removed because it was rattling. And then when you drive the thing at high speed, the thing gets hard to push because the thing is getting so heated up and everything expands. But I think it disappeared. I don't think it was there after it cooled off. The next day, if you search your soul, Susan, I think you'll admit that the next morning when you drove it,
It really was still harder to shift.
There goes theory number B. Okay, theory D.
I hadn't worked on any more than two. I figured one of the two would get her.
Well, they were both pretty good. The second one was quite bogus.
That's why it was the second one.
I considered the theory of the low fluid, but I dismissed it.
All right, I have a fallback position.
And even if
I'm siding with the boyfriend.
Well, I was there a long time ago. Yeah, I'm afraid, Susan, that I don't understand. I can't come up with any reasonable theory, and clearly my brother can't either.
Yeah.
But on the other hand,
well, here's the only
you don't
way...
sound like you're crazy.
I'm definitely not crazy.
And I have to admit that I have many times have fallen into the trap of not believing my wife when she tells me that the car is doing something.
And my friend felt the shifter, and both of them, actually two friends, a he and a she, and they both noticed it.
They both noticed it.
Yes.
Well, then I'm sticking with my theory number two, and the way you're going to verify this is take the car for another extended trip.
Okay.
You have to do
I'll
this.
do that.
You have to do this and call us back.
Okay.
And then I'm going to stick with my sticky shifter.
Okay, well, I mean, I don't agree, but fine.
Well, I'll let you know what I find out.
Yeah, I mean, it can't hurt to take another 2-hour ride.
Indeed, there may even be nothing wrong, or there may not be a heat shield missing. It's just heat that gets generated as a result of a long trip, and it's causing the shifter cable to bind up. That's the only other thing.
Okay.
Okay?
I will definitely do this.
Okay.
I'll let you know what I find.
I'd love to know.
Okay.
See you, Susan.
Thanks.
Bye.
Hey, would now be a good time to read some mail?
How about never? Never works for you?
No, I have a letter here from Ken Turner out there in cyberspace. The following is from a collection of anecdotes that appear too stupid to be made up, believe it or not. So Ken said that, and this is an anecdote told by somebody whose name we don't know. When my husband and I arrived at an automobile dealership to pick up our car, we were told that the keys had been accidentally locked in it. We went to the service department and found a mechanic working feverishly to unlock the driver's side door. As I watched from the passenger side, I instinctively tried the door handle. And the door opened. And I said, "Hey, it's open." And the mechanic said, "Yeah, I know. I already got that side." Now, I wonder if he was accredited.
You never know.
And certified. I already got that side. I love it. Well, thanks, Ken, whoever you are.
You've got to entertain the possibility that he was getting paid by the door.
By the door.
Anyway, if you want to send my brother some mail, what's that address, Frank?
The address is Tommy's Mail, Car Talk Plaza, Box 3500, Cambridge,
Our Fair City,
Massachusetts,
02238.
38. That's what it is.
There you go.
02238.
Or you can email anything to him if you go to cartalk.com. He'll read anything.
I'll read anything if I can get my mail.
The stupider, the better. 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's the number to call if you want to talk to us right now. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hello, this is Michael from Chapel Hill.
Hi, Michael.
Michael.
What's happening, man?
Well, I've got a 1985 Volvo station wagon with 215,000 miles on it.
That's good.
You know, who's that one guy who had like 900,000 miles on his Volvo? You remember there was a Volvo ad?
One of your customers?
Not the ones with the 2x4s. But there was another Volvo ad years ago about somebody who had close to 1 million miles. Well, he ruined it for everyone else.
He did, I know.
I mean, you ain't going to go for the record.
Michael says, I got 215,000 miles. Then there was that pregnant pause where he was waiting for us to say,
Wow.
Wow, how did you do that?
But compared to 948,000, I mean,
Yeah, you got to go 5 times that to impress us.
Well, actually, I bought it with 200,000 miles on it, so I can't really take too much credit.
Oh,
Not
you
at
paid
all.
$50 for it. The $50 Volvo.
No, hardly. So anyway, go ahead.
Well, anyway, my car is making this horrible screaming sort of metal-on-metal crying noise coming right out of the center of the dashboard.
Oh, you poor guy. Well, you have a choice here, Mike. We can give you an answer, which will certainly sadden you, or we can just say goodbye now and just pretend that you never got through.
Yeah.
What's your choice? You want door A or B?
Well, I'll take door number 1. That's the answer.
Man's got a lot of courage.
Chapel Hill.
Mm-hmm.
What's the?
Far enough away that he can't get at us.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. What is the average winter temperature?
Oh, they don't really celebrate winter down here. It's in the 30s probably.
So you could live without a heater
So
if you had to.
you could say that winter passes quietly and unnoticed.
Well, it's not like it's completely
Yeah.
unnoticed.
But whilst
It's going to be a lot more noticed this winter.
Oh, yeah.
We hate to break this to
Right.
you.
Do the name Bronco Nagurski long underwear mean anything to you? What's going is your heater motor is going. There's a little electric motor that drives the fan.
Going, gone.
Yeah. And it's making noise because the motor is on the way out, and the bearings in the motor are squealing at you.
And this is one of those cases where the part costs $1.25 and the labor costs $1 million.
Yeah, that's what my mechanic said. He said that to get in there you have to disassemble the entire front end, and it would cost.
Oh, so you knew what
hundreds
this
of
was
dollars.
already.
Yeah, he was just hoping for a contrarian answer.
Yeah, no, you weren't going to get it from
Yeah,
us.
you were hoping that we would say, look, take a squirt of oil.
Yeah, right.
Well, but see, I've got something new now, because now it's making that same sound even when the motor is turned off. Once the engine warms up, it makes almost the identical sound, but slightly lower. This new sound only started, this summer I had a radiator blowout. So I poured a bottle of this stuff that they say plugs up your radiator.
Yeah.
That didn't help. So I poured in a couple of other things. One was like pixie dust, and one was just a bigger bottle.
Yeah.
And the radiator hasn't blown over since, but in the meantime, this other problem has started.
Does the other problem go away if you turn the engine off?
Yes.
Right.
That
I think you
does
have a bad water pump.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Okay.
Yeah, and it probably was caused by all that crud you threw in the radiator.
Well, that's what I was thinking. That
Yeah,
somehow
well, I'm glad that you brought up the radiator issue.
Mhm.
Because the only other thing that could make that kind of noise is the water pump.
Okay.
That's much better news, actually. The water pump, I believe, is not impossible to replace on this car.
Oh, okay.
No, the water
It's
pump
kind
is
of easy.
The water pump is easy. Do you own your own home, Michael?
Well.
Do you have
in the
you taken out a
traditional
home
way,
equity loan yet?
Yes, I hear that the rates are very attractive.
yes. That doesn't sound too promising.
No. The water pump is the best news you could get anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you can live with the heater making noise. It's only a few months.
The heater fan will work for a long, long time making all that noise, you know.
Okay.
It's at some point it's going to burst into flame. So if you can predict that time with a little bit
and
of
make
accuracy,
sure you're out of the country. Now, wouldn't it be convenient if you could loan the car to a friend? I'm often convinced that people who know their cars are on the verge of a disaster arrange to have a friend ask them to use it.
Yeah, and they say, sure. And then something breaks, and the friend feels obliged to pay half of the repair cost.
And you say, but be careful with my baby because she's been in the family for a long time. I really would be upset if anything were to happen to her.
Right, your chin has to tremble a little bit when you say this.
Right.
Work on it. You're going to need it. See you, Michael.
All right, thanks.
Thanks for your
Oh,
call.
man.
All right, look, it's that time of the show again.
Oh, is this the part where the old lady with the tea cart comes by and offers us like the digestive biscuits, the 11sies, as we call it
The
in your old
11Z.
London?
No, this is where we run out to the kitchen, accidentally break the coffee machine, put up a quick note that says, sorry I broke this, signed it Scott Simon, and then dash back in here in time for the puzzle.
Let's go. We'll be back with a new puzzler in just a minute.
Mr. Smith had an Oldsmobile, baby blue with the wire wheels. He took her home on the day she was advertised. Said she leaked when it would rain. Sounded like an airplane. But I knew she was a jewel in disguise. She had a 455 rocket, biggest block alive. I couldn't hardly wait just to take my turn. She was made for straightaways. She grew up hating Chevrolets. She's a rocket. She was made to burn.
And even though conductors keel over into their orchestra pits whenever they hear us say it, this is NPR.
Hi, this is David Green. I hope you'll start your day tomorrow with Up First. It's the morning news podcast from NPR. The most important details about the biggest stories to get you ready for the day. Wake up with Up First tomorrow morning on the NPR One app and also wherever you listen to podcasts.
Ha! We're back. You're listening to Car Talk with us, Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers, and we're here to discuss cars, car repair, and the new puzzler.
Which you said would be quasi-automotive.
I did. So here it is. And actually, I stole this.
I mean, what is that little book? What is that?
It's an advanced copy of a puzzle book. See what it says here?
Advanced uncorrected proofs. The answers could be all wrong. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have mentioned it.
What does that say there?
Advanced uncorrected. What if they had all the answers right, but in the wrong place?
Oh, fudge. Well, this is a little book by Terry Stickles, and there's a forward in here by Will Shorts. Everyone knows Will Shorts.
Will?
Yes.
Frostmy.
Will
His middle name.
Yes. Will Frostmy Shorts. Who, of course, is the puzzle editor of the New York Times and a frequent visitor to National Public Radio. Anyway, here's the puzzle.
Yeah.
You've been invited to go on a camping trip in the woods with 25 or 30 of your closest buddies, and you've rented a cabin in the woods.
Got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're piling your cars. This is the automotive part. And you drive.
And you drive to the woods.
You drive to the cabin in the woods.
We're finished with the automotive part now?
Yeah.
You get out of the car, and now it becomes non-automotive.
There you go.
Got it.
The next morning, everyone gets up, and it's decided that Cookie is going to make homemade pancakes for everyone, but he needs to add to the recipe 2 gallons of water, exactly 2 gallons of water. So you are sent to the well to fetch 2 gallons of water with no, measuring device.
Oh.
You get to the well.
Yeah.
And you discover there are 2 jugs there. One says
I've got it.
13 gallons, and the other says 7 gallons. How can you... Everyone knows this kind of puzzle, right? You
Sure.
pull one in the other.
Wait, do you also have a book of matches and a space blanket?
Yes, you have a book of matches, a space blanket, and a full-size poster of Ginger Grant.
And a gallon jug of San Pellegrino water.
So you have no measuring devices except the 13 gallon
and the 7.
And the 7. And your job, if you choose to accept, is to come back with exactly 2 gallons of water.
Wait a minute now. Did you go empty-handed?
You went to the well to get water.
So you don't have another container.
You don't have another vessel.
That was my question.
No, so you could
don't
carry,
have another. It ain't that easy then.
You could carry the 2 gallons back in your undershorts, but you're going to use one of these vessels to carry the water back to the
after you've measured it so precisely.
After you've measured it precisely, exactly.
Wait, can you make 2 trips?
No,
to the
you
well?
can't. The jugs are very heavy. You're going to need a hernia operation.
Heavy? They're only a gallon.
No.
8.33 pounds.
Empty jugs. They're earthenware jugs. Actually, the jugs are made from spent plutonium.
And you have a bad ticker.
And you got a bad ticker, a bad back, and a bad front. So you're allowed 1 trip. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
And you can't take your car because the automotive portion of the puzzler
is now over.
Can he leave the room from now on when I do the puzzler?
I love it.
Now, if you think you know the answer, write it on the back of a $20 bill or a picture of Carlos Santana and send it to Puzzler Tower, Car Talk Plaza, Box 3500, Harvard Square, Cambridge,
Our Fair City,
Mass 02238, or you can email your answer from cartalk.com. If you'd like to call us, the number is 1-888-CAR-TALK. That's 888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
This is Romeo.
Romeo, wherefore art thou?
Wherefore art thou, Romeo?
Out thou in Albuquerque.
Albuquerque.
Yeah, New Mexico.
Yeah. So what's up?
Not much. I have a question about my car.
Wait. Is your name really Romeo?
Yes, sir.
No kidding.
You of Italian extraction or Spanish?
I'm Spanish.
Spanish.
Really?
Actually, I'm Mexican. I can't say I'm Spanish.
And how do they it's not pronounced Romeo.
Romeo.
Romeo. Yeah, Romeo.
It's pronounced Romeo?
Uh-huh.
In Spanish? Because in Italian it's Romeo.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
like
sure.
Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
That's a great name. It's not very is it common in Mexico?
No, not really. It's I don't know.
Do you have a nickname?
Do I have a nickname?
Yeah.
No, just call me Romeo.
Really? That's interesting. That's nice. That's nice. It's
like
refreshing to find someone whose name is used in its entirety.
Yeah. So some names don't lend themselves to nicknames at all, like Nick. How are you gonna call him?
Well, I tell you what. Try growing up with a name like Romeo. Though.
Yeah, no thanks.
like like the boy named Sue. You know.
Yeah. How many fights did you have?
Well, I got beat up a lot as a kid, but it makes it tough.
Makes it tough.
All right. So what's up, Romeo?
Well, I have a '66 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, and right now it's running on one. Instead of two, it's only running on one, what we call down here, huevo. Now, see, me and my friend, we had it parked, and we were, tinkering around with it, trying to just fix up a couple of the loose ends, and we took it out, and we were horse beating it, and, we peeled out a couple of times. Like, for one time we peeled out for, 2 blocks, and then one time we peeled out through an intersection, and then we pull it into my garage again. We just back it up all casually, and it starts clicking like we threw a rod or something. And
you were really beating this thing.
The engine starts clicking.
Yeah, it's a muscle car, What can
sure.
you do?
It sounds like an anemic car right now.
Well, yeah. So it started clicking, and we kind of looked at each other and gave a really distressed look, because we said, "Oh man, that's going to cost a lot of money."
What do we do now?
Right. And so we backed it up, and we parked it for a while and said, "Well, we'll get to that when we have time." And when we started it up again the next time, it started fine. There was no
clicking.
No clicking, but ever since then, the thrill's not there. It's not even worth peeling out anymore. It's like, man, well,
why? Because you're afraid you're going to repeat this.
Well, not really.
No, it doesn't have it doesn't have any guts anymore.
Exactly. It's just the thrill is gone.
Yeah. And does it run lousy at idle as well? Or
Actually,
did it always?
It idles pretty well. It sounds really good.
But it doesn't have any power.
No power. And and someone told me that it might be a lifter because, I guess it was parked for a while. But then someone else told me it could be the timing belt. Now, I'm not really sure because I don't know,
Well, it doesn't have a belt. It has a chain.
And I like the timing chain.
There you
theory.
go.
Well, I don't particularly. Usually, once the timing chain begins to go, it's a rapid slide downhill. In other words, if you've jumped that chain one notch, it's probably going to jump 2 or 3 or 4 notches within a few hours of running.
Oh, well, it depends on how you drive, though.
Take it out and drive the hell out of it again. I mean, if the timing chain is gone.
If you did jump the chain, it means it's loose enough to jump. And if you do what you were doing, whatever the hell you were doing, you and your buddy there, Juliet.
Right. I know what they were doing. They were repaving the roads in Albuquerque with rubber.
And gasoline coming out the tailpipe. And if that's the case, this thing will jump about 4 more teeth.
And stop running.
And it won't start.
Well, if you don't want to do that, here's what you do. Do you have a timing light?
You sure do.
Put the timing light on.
Does he have a timing light?
And see if the ignition timing is still right on. If it is, then you didn't jump the chain.
Okay.
Okay, but you could have collapsed the lifter.
Oh man.
But if you did, you'd probably still be hearing the noise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if the noise is completely gone, it runs very smoothly at idle?
Yes, I suspect it's something a little less severe.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm going to recommend that you have to do something here. You have to take the spark plugs out, and you're going to find that one of them is fouled.
Oh,
You
yeah.
think it's running on 8 cylinders, but it isn't.
Uh-huh.
You say it runs pretty well at idle, but it doesn't run perfectly, does it?
No, not really.
Yeah, not really.
It's still, it kind of, I guess, drags. Is that the word when you give it a little gas?
Well, no, it's an automatic.
Yeah, sure.
When you put it in drive, is there a little shake to the engine?
A little bit, but not much.
No, just enough to let you know that you're running on 7 cylinders instead of 8.
Yeah,
And
probably. Yeah.
And I think that would account for everything.
That
It
would
account for the
that would.
small loss of power,
Uh-huh.
and would account for the fact that it runs rough.
Yeah.
Which are the only 2 things which constitute everything.
I mean, when you try to really accelerate hard, if you have ever tried that since this happened, does the
Accelerate
whole
really?
engine shake?
No, I bet it pops back through the carburetor if you really stomp on it.
Sure.
Yes.
No, I mean, I guess it runs all right. It just takes a while to get up there, and the speed.
It's the timing chain then.
You think so?
I think it's the timing chain.
Yeah, well, it could be. Put the timing
Check
light
the
on
timing.
it. Then, if that's the timing's all right, pull the plugs out. You'll find a couple of them fouled.
If you're
Yeah.
lucky.
Put some
I
new.
bet you they've never been changed. I haven't changed them since I got them, so.
And you got the car when you were in high school, right?
Yeah, it's just about. It's a pretty old car.
Good luck.
All right, thanks a lot. You guys really do good work.
Check the timing and check the spark plugs.
Okay, have
Good.
a good one.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for calling.
1-888-CAR TALK or 1-888-227-8255. Hello, you're on Car Talk.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
This is Suzanne Eisman from South Egremont, Massachusetts.
South Egremont. I've heard of that.
Boy, that is an elegant sounding name.
Well, it's a very nice town.
It's out in western Massachusetts, right?
Egremont.
That's right, in the Berkshires.
Yes.
You must live near Arlo Guthrie.
Well, not about 30 minutes away.
No kidding.
North of here.
Everybody lives there. Now, Suzanne.
Yes.
Is this with a Z or with an S?
It's with a Z.
That's what I thought. What did
There's an S at the beginning.
No, but Suzanne.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, of course.
Suzanne.
So what's on your mind, Suzanne?
Well, I decided to talk to you about the other woman in my husband's life.
Yes, let's discuss. I love prurient
Like that,
little
huh?
stories like this.
Her name is Tootsie.
Let's see, yeah.
Tootsie is a 1929 Model A Ford
Yeah.
with a bladder problem.
Yeah. She leaks all over the garage?
Well, as a matter of fact, that's exactly what she does. We only drive her my husband only drives her in the summertime. But if the weather is bad or it's a little too cold, he puts her in the garage, which is attached to the house.
Oh, isn't that cute?
Hmm?
Well,
That's cute.
he's in love with her.
And then I smell rather noxious fumes in the house.
Huh.
And it's rather, it makes me sick.
Yeah, you're probably smelling gasoline.
Gasoline, correct.
It's probably leaking from the carburetor. The Model A. Did the Model A have a fuel pump?
I don't know. My husband told me a few things to tell you.
Gas tank was on the front.
The gas tank is right in front of the windshield.
Right in
Is
front
that
of the
correct?
windshield, and there is no fuel pump. It was gravity feed.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And my husband says she seems to ooze gas. And he has just gotten an
My
original...
brother does that too.
Are you having fun?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. No.
Will you be serious? Suzanne has a serious question here. Her marriage is at stake. She's losing brain cells every day, smelling the gasoline fumes, and you're not taking it seriously?
I will take it seriously.
Take it seriously because, for all I know, Tootsie has a death wish on me.
Maybe.
And those fumes will asphyxiate me.
Yes, maybe that's their plan.
You know, you talk about coincidence. Now, what do I have? My brother can attest to this.
Yes.
I saw the headline already.
No, it's better than the headline. I am reading a couple of weeks old issue of the Weekly World News, just to give you an idea what this newspaper is all about. And there is a story in the middle of this newspaper about a woman in California who suffers from the world's most bizarre body odor. She smells of gasoline.
Oh, Butchie down at the Shell station has that too.
This is serious. Maggie Lagenhook suffers from the most unusual BO in medical history. An overpowering smell of gasoline that seeps from the pores of her body 24 hours a day. And it shows a picture of Marge, or Maggie, sitting here, and her husband is wearing a gas mask. So you sort of have the same situation here.
Well, I think he needs to change her carburetor.
Yes, I think her carburetor needs to be changed, and I think Tootsie needs a new carburetor.
Well, my husband got an original Zenith carburetor and a rebuilding kit, which he hopes to use in the spring.
Yes, good. Good. In the meantime, yes, I think so.
Well, the other question is, of course, are those fumes that are coming into the house dangerous?
Well, evidently not to Maggie's husband.
No, he's wearing a gas mask.
What about to Suzanne?
Yeah,
Oh, no,
Suzanne,
the fumes,
it's not good.
The fumes are dangerous.
Sure.
I'm glad you said that because my husband keeps saying, oh, that can't hurt you.
No, he's wrong about that.
If your husband really loves you, tell him to stick Tootsie outside. Of course, you can solve it. He doesn't drive it in the winter, you say.
No, Tootsie is hibernating in a friend's garage, which is attached to nothing.
Okay, so the smell is no longer an issue. But if he were to store it, even if he didn't fix the problem, he could certainly drain the gas out at the beginning of the winter.
Or, I mean, if it's really leaking from the carburetor, he could just disconnect the line going to the carburetor, plug it up, and then it wouldn't leak anymore.
That's right. We can find a dead mouse and stick it in.
There you go.
Find a dead mouse.
I'm sure there are a few other lovely things like that you'd love to do to Tootsie, too, Suzanne.
Actually, she is lovely, and we enjoy her very much.
So you ride around in Tootsie as well?
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Oh, yes, we do. We wear special hats, and we have a great time.
Yeah.
Next time we're in South Egremont, we will be looking for you.
Come on by. We'd love to see you.
Thanks for your call, Suzanne.
Okay, thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, it's happened again. You've blown off another perfectly good hour listening to Car Talk. Our esteemed producer is Doug, the subway fugitive, not a slave to fashion, bongo boy, frogman,
Pumpkin Lips.
Pumpkin Lips Berman. Our associate producers are David, the Calves of Belleville Green, and Catherine Frau Blucher Fenolosa. Our web lackey is Doug, the Old Gray Mare, assisted by Connie Bridgeford. Our theme music is by David Dog Grisman, and our technical, spiritual, and menu advisor, just back from the Black Sea, Chablis, kimchi, sweet pea, French brie, green tea, crab louis, kedgeree, and vitamin C jamboree and shopping spree, is John Bugsy Lawler. Our public opinion pollster is Paul Murky of Murky Research, assisted by statistician Margin of Error. Our customer care representative is Haywood Jabuzzoff. Our personal makeup artist is Bud Tugley. Our staff bicycle tester is Maya Sertz. Our press secretary is Don B. Zonozzi. Our anger management counselor, our marine forecaster is Caesar Choppy. Our Russian chauffeur is Peekoff and Dropoff. The Payne Diaz family has the week off. But the head of our working mother support group is Erasmus B. Dragon. Our chief counsel from the law firm of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe is Hugh Lewis Dewey, known to the shielding coat-clad pigeons in Harvard Square as Huey Louie Dewey. Thanks so much for listening. We're Click and Clack, the Tappet Brothers, and Don't Drive Like My Brother.
And don't drive like my brother.
We'll be back next week. Bye-bye. You can get a podcast of this show, which is number 1747, subscribe to our weekly podcast, and check out our guaranteed to be regifted clothing and best of collections all over at cartalk.com. Also this week at cartalk.com. Hey, are your car's ears burning? Want to know when people are discussing problems with your year, make, and model? Sign up for discussion alerts, and we'll shoot you an email whenever your very own car is the subject of moaning, groaning, or even better, solutions. Read only what you need. Sign up for our discussion alerts over at cartalk.com.
Car Talk is a production of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe and WBUR in Boston.
And even though NPR staff has passed through the stages of denial, anger, depression, and acceptance, then go back to denial again whenever they hear us say it, this is NPR.